Right now on Good Morning America, first look, dangerous weather from coast to coast. Days after flooding turned deadly in California, the West Coast, bracing for more storms. In Texas, the deadly plane crash during foggy weather. As parts of the Northeast prepare for heavy snow, with millions preparing to hit the roads. President Trump announcing a new class of warship named after himself, calling them the most powerful ever built.
100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built.
The announcement coming as he ramps up pressure on Venezuela. Plus, why experts say a regime change could create major problems here at home. New fallout from the shooting at Brown University. The Department of Education announcing an investigation into the school hours after it suspended a top administrator. They messed with the wrong mom. Video captures a California woman ramming a car full of alleged would-be burglars running from her house. Plus, the major milestone in aviation, what a plane just did for the first time ever. The weight loss drug that's just been approved in pill form. The punishment just handed down to the Steelers player who threw a punch at a fan. And no Powerball winner once again. What the enormous jackpot is now estimated to be. It's Tuesday, December 23rd.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay. And I'm Hannah Battah. Thank you for joining us. We begin with the dangerous weather, putting millions of people at risk. The most serious conditions are in northern and southern California. Preparations for days worth of heavy rain are well underway in recently burned areas around Los Angeles. The weather is also affecting parts of the country in other areas, with millions of holiday travelers on the move. This morning, from coast to coast, people are preparing for dangerous weather as the holiday travel rush kicks into high gear. In Southern California, residents in areas ravaged by wildfires are laying out sandbags and tarps, while crews reinforce barriers to help prevent mudslides.
I'm a little scared because of the debris flow.
Millions north of Los Angeles are at high risk for excessive rainfall and flooding as a storm moves in today and is expected to last through the week. And Northern California is bracing for more severe weather after rounds of heavy rain and mountain snow pummeled the region. One woman in Humboldt County had to be rescued after her vehicle became submerged in rising floodwaters. This week's storms in California are being fueled by an atmospheric river. Time-lapse satellite video shows the system sweeping in. Governor Gavin Newsom has ordered state agencies to pre-position emergency crews and equipment to respond rapidly ahead of this next round of storms. Meanwhile, in Texas, heavy fog created treacherous travel conditions and may have contributed to a deadly plane crash. At least 5 people were killed after a small Mexican Navy plane crashed into the water near Galveston.
We're still searching for people inside the aircraft right now.
The plane was transporting a young medical patient and 7 others. One person is still missing. In the east, from New York City to Boston, a quick burst of rain and snow could create slick conditions on the roads during this morning's commute. This all comes amid a record-breaking holiday travel season.
More than 122 million Americans set to travel more than 50 miles from home this holiday season. That's a record. And here at LaGuardia Airport, one American flight set to take off every 10 minutes.
Sunday is expected to be the busiest day for the TSA, with nearly 3 million people flying. We'll check in on the forecast in just a moment. Well, the search has been suspended for a missing swimmer who may have encountered a shark at a beach in Monterey, California. The swimmer, 55-year-old Erica Fox, has not been seen since a group swim on Sunday afternoon. A witness tells the Coast Guard they saw a shark with a body in its mouth before it went back underwater. Beaches in that area will remain closed today. And President Trump has unveiled a new class of powerful battleships named after himself. They're part of a broader effort to build what he calls a golden fleet. It comes as the Trump administration continues to ramp up pressure on Venezuela, going after sanctioned oil tankers amid talk of regime change. ABC's Alison Kosik has the latest.
President Trump unveiling plans for a new fleet of battleships. Flanked by renderings of the Trump class of ships, he said they'll form part of what he has dubbed the Navy's Golden Fleet.
The fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. They'll also have hypersonic weapons, many hypersonic weapons, state-of-the-art electric rail guns, and even the high-powered lasers that you've been starting to read about.
Trump said the goal is to build up to 25 battleships, in part to inspire fear in America's enemies all over the world. Trump says the Navy will lead the project and that he will be involved in consulting.
Because I'm a very aesthetic person.
The Navy says the cost of the ships has not been nailed down, but a retired admiral says the first ship could top $10 billion to build, and says the large ships are not what the Navy needs to combat Chinese threats at sea. Current Navy ships have amassed in the Caribbean as the U.S. targets oil tankers linked to Venezuela. President Trump ramping up pressure on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro amid questions of regime change.
Ultimate goal in Venezuela to force Maduro from power?
Well, I think it probably would. I can't tell that. That's up to him, what he wants to do. I think it would be smart for him to do that.
The administration has accused Maduro of sending drugs to the U.S. and of stealing U.S. oil assets, but has not provided evidence. On Monday, Maduro sent a letter to the United Nations calling the U.S. seizing of tankers acts of piracy and illegal acts of violence. The UN Security Council has scheduled a meeting today to discuss Venezuela. Russia and China pledging to support Venezuela. Trump's threats to cut off Venezuela's oil revenues are also sparking concern about Cuba's economy. Cuba resells most of the oil it gets from Venezuela to China, which covers half its budget. Cuba experts say the collapse of the Maduro regime could mean the collapse of the fragile Cuban economy and turn into a massive refugee crisis for the U.S. And President Trump said the U.S. is still actively pursuing a sanctioned oil tanker that fled into the Atlantic Ocean after the Coast Guard tried to intercept it on Sunday. Sophie, Hannah?
Allison, thanks. The Trump administration is increasing the incentive for undocumented migrants to voluntarily leave the country. They're now offering $3,000 stipends for those who register with the government and self-deport by the end of the year. That's up from the typical offer of $1,000. Migrants will also receive free airfare to their home countries.
The Education Department is investigating Brown University following the attack that left 2 students dead and 9 wounded. They're trying to determine if Brown met the legally required safety and security standards. Brown has now placed its police chief on leave amid questions about how the gunman was able to access a lecture hall, then escape the area. Police say the suspected shooter went on to kill an MIT professor before dying by suicide.
Pressure is mounting on the Justice Department this morning as lawmakers and victims accuse the administration of breaking the law. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest. Good morning, Nicole.
Hannah, good morning. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer introduced legislation yesterday that would direct the Senate to take legal action against the Department of Justice for its partial release of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, it comes after DOJ officials said they would release hundreds of thousands of documents on Friday, which was the deadline. But since then, less than 10,000 documents have actually been released. Schumer calling the partial release a, quote, blatant cover-up and accusing Attorney General Pam Bondi of shielding Donald Trump from accountability. Included in those newly released files were numerous pictures of former President Bill Clinton. Clinton yesterday calling for transparency. His spokesman calling on Bondi to release any remaining material that includes him. And yesterday, President Trump was asked about those Clinton photos.
I don't like the pictures of Bill Clinton being shown. I don't like the pictures of other people being shown. I think it's a terrible thing. I think Bill Clinton's a big boy. He can handle it. But you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago.
The DOJ's deputy director would not say whether Clinton is under investigation, and he says that the delay in the release of the documents is to help protect Epstein's victims and not President Trump. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you. Democratic Congresswoman Joyce Beatty is suing President Trump, seeking to force the removal of his name from the Kennedy Center. Beatty says the board's vote to add Trump's name to the center was illegal because an act of Congress is required to make the change. She says she was muted on a call with the board last week when she tried to object to the name change.
Bad news, lottery players. You didn't win the Powerball jackpot. The good news, nobody else did either. Last night's drawing marked the 46th in a row without a grand prize winner, which means the Christmas Eve Powerball jackpot will be an estimated $1.7 billion.
Time now for your Tuesday morning weather.
Good morning. Couple trouble spots in terms of holiday travel this Tuesday. We're watching slick conditions in the Northeast. A little bit of a rain-snow mix. Interior New England could pick up several inches of snow Tuesday morning and afternoon, where just slushy roads from New York City up through Boston. The other weather worry on the West Coast. The flooding downpours continue today for Central California, and then the concern shifts to Southern California tomorrow. A rare high risk for flash flooding issued for Christmas Eve morning. In New York, I'm meteorologist Danny Beckstrom for ABC News. Coming up, the weight loss drug soon available as a pill.
Also ahead, high-flying milestone, the major step just taken in aviation safety.
And these next people messed with the wrong mom. See the moment this mother stopped an alleged crime crew in their tracks.
We're back with a remarkable landing in Colorado. A small plane became the first to land itself during an emergency using automated technology. Garmin's Autoland system activated when the twin aircraft lost pressure. 2 pilots left the system engaged until the plane touched down safely at an airport near Denver.
The FDA has approved the once-daily Wegovy pill. It's the first oral GLP-1 medication approved to treat obesity. The daily pills are expected to result in the loss of up to 15% of body weight over 18 months. That is similar to Wegovy's weekly injections. They're expected to be available by prescription in early January.
Now to a don't mess with mom moment caught on camera. A Los Angeles mom rushing back to her house after finding out it was being targeted by a group of would-be burglars. She made quite an impact when she got back.
Surveillance video capturing the moment a Los Angeles mother slammed her Mercedes into a burglar's getaway car.
Next time it's gonna be worse for them.
The woman who wants to remain anonymous says she was heading out for coffee while chatting with her mom, who was back at the house watching her 3 young children. She says a few minutes into the call, her mother comes face to face with burglars.
She started screaming like crazy.
The woman says burglars had jumped the fence into her backyard and were making their way towards the back doors when her mother spotted them. The woman says the screaming scared the thieves, who hopped back over the fence and ran to their car, unaware of what was coming down the street.
I make a U-turn and come back home, and I saw the 2 guys. They jumped from my house. I see them and I hit them.
The woman barreling her G-Wagon into the alleged getaway car. The footage shows 3 people sprinting away from the wrecked car moments later. The suspects getting away, but police say they found an ID card in the car. Now, the woman warning anyone else who dares to come onto her property.
It's gonna be worse for them. Next time, again, in our private property, it's gonna be much worse because we have guns, we have everything.
The homeowners believe the burglars targeted the house, saying they disabled one of the home's security cameras before breaking in.
I wouldn't mess with her. Coming up, the new health battle for legendary singer Barry Manilow.
Also ahead, the punishment handed down to Steelers' DK Metcalf after throwing a punch at a fan, and the major announcement from the Kansas City Chiefs. That was in Baltimore at Sunday night's game between the Ravens and Patriot. A rogue firework hitting the field moments before kickoff. Thankfully, no one was hurt, despite a staffer standing close to where that firework landed. The Ravens are working with a fireworks vendor to figure out what went wrong.
Also in the NFL, Steelers receiver DK Metcalf is expected to appeal a 2-game suspension for this confrontation with a fan in Detroit. Metcalf grabbing a fan wearing a blue wig on Sunday and appearing to throw a punch. Former player Chad Ochocinco says Metcalf told him the fan used a slur, but that fan is denying the claim. A source tells ESPN that Metcalf reported the same fan to security in the past. And the Kansas City Chiefs say they are moving to Kansas. Team plans to vacate the aging Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri for a new stadium in Kansas City, Kansas by 2031.
Music legend Barry Manilow is sharing that he's been diagnosed with lung cancer. He's preparing for surgery and says pure luck may have saved his life. Here's ABC's Victor Akendo.
Oh, I can't smile without you.
Barry Manilow, the iconic American singer and songwriter with a career spanning more than 60 years, revealing he has lung cancer.
Looks like we made it.
Celebrated around the world for a string of #1 hits.
Oh, Mandy.
Beginning in the 1970s. The 82-year-old saying his lung cancer was found by surprise during an MRI after suffering from months of bronchitis, sharing that he will undergo surgery to remove a cancerous spot on his left lung, saying it's thanks to, quote, pure luck and a great doctor that it was found so early, adding the doctors do not believe it has spread. It was just 5 years ago Manilow battled and successfully recovered from throat cancer. He's told reporters in the past he was a smoker for years. He is encouraging others to not ignore symptoms and get tested. Barry Manilow is postponing his 2026 tour by a few weeks, including here in Florida, adding his treatment includes, quote, no chemo, no radiation, just chicken soup and I Love Lucy reruns. Victor Oquendo, ABC News, Miami.
Victor, thank you. Coming up, the surprise celebrity appearance during a production of The Nutcracker.
Plus, how the Grinch ended up in this Arizona jail. It's time to check the pulse, and we start with a surprise musical selection from former President George W. Bush.
Just for the record, Bush is still very much alive and kicking, but his daughter has revealed on her TV show that her dad has already selected his funeral song. Take a listen.
Yeah, that's the gospel hit, Oh Happy Day. And yes, the president says he wants the version from Whoopi Goldberg classic Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. I like that he chose an uplifting song.
Yeah, thinking ahead.
Although I don't know if I want to have conversations with my parents about their funeral songs.
No, too far ahead.
Keep that to yourself. Next, skateboarding legend Tony Hawk making his ballet debut.
Yeah, the 57-year-old saying he was way outside his comfort zone, rolling on stage during a performance of The Nutcracker in San Diego. Look at that. Hawk appeared in costume during both acts and the curtain call. He even used a quarter pipe along with a young skater during a dance scene. Hawk says his daughter got a good laugh out of his appearance. But hey, he looks pretty good.
Right, and the most unsuspecting combination, right? Skateboarding and ballet, but I am living for this duo.
Totally. Well, in Arizona, the Grinch won't get a chance to steal Christmas this year.
Because he's behind bars. The Scottsdale Police Department posted this video to remind citizens that jail does not close for the holidays.
The police warned that those who earn a spot on the naughty list will be arrested, and that includes Grinches, porch pirates, and other criminals. You might look like that.
Word to the wise. We all got, even though he looks like he's kind of having fun there.
Yeah, so wait a minute.
I don't know if it's going to be lesson learned. And finally, what's likely the Christmas season's most unique nativity scene?
Yeah, somehow this happened. A doggy daycare in Britain dressed up these dogs to represent all the important nativity roles, including Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus, of course. The three wise men and even Angel Gabriel were there. What's more impressive than the costumes is that they're all holding still. Look at them. They all look like very wise men.
Right. I'm going to need to know what they were doing behind the camera lens to make this happen.
And I hope they got so many treats.
Unlimited treats.
Unlimited!